To you, and thank you so much for joining us. This is Good Morning Africa, the home edition. I'm glad you could find time to be with us today, the 20th of July, 2021. My name is Miriam Ugutu, and joining us from the Political Command Center is Dr. David Matanga. Doctor, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam. Thank you very much for this home punchline Africa. Thank you.
All right. And we're also joined on the other side by our correspondent, Samuel Tawish, a journalist from Nairobi. Tawish, a very good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu, Dr. David Masanga, and of course, my colleague panelist, and everyone who is joining this program this morning.
All right, so I'll go through quickly the news making headlines this morning in the Kenyan newspapers. And on the Daily Nation, the main headline reads, still haggling as time runs out, and then surviving rising cost of living in Kenya today. And that is on the Daily Nation. And on the Standard newspaper, DP tactics put Raila Uhuru in tight spot. President's casual approach in dealing with Ruto's political resurgence in Mount Kenya and differences among party leaders within NASA coalition seem to be working in the DP's favor as next year's polls draw close. So that is what we have on the front page. And just up there, Magoha to do away with high schools, and then Jubilee to challenge Kiambaa poll results. So that is what we have on the front pages of the Standard newspaper. And of course, today is Eid ul-Adha. So a happy Eid ul-Adha to all our Muslims, brothers and sisters who are watching us. So Doctor, start us off that headline on the Standard newspaper. I don't know if you have the Star, because I did not find it at my local vendor. So if you have it, maybe you can tell me what is on the front pages there.
The Star, Miriam, the Star is very clear. It's a subject that I've been asking the whole week throughout, and told many people that will there be an election in Kenya. The Star has come up with a headline, a scheme to delay 2022 elections. Kioni preparing to petition High Court to give IEBC time for boundaries review. I think that is the best move that I have seen coming out of the MPs this season, because you cannot hold these elections anymore. There is no way you can hold these elections the way they stand. And on the Star again, it is Raila and Ruto on charm offensive at the coast. You can see Raila dancing and Ruto also dancing with the younger people, Raila with the young, the elderly on the other side. Magoha proposes to block universities admitting diploma and certificate courses. I don't know this. I don't know what is happening here. Then Raf sees Uhuru moves to foster chaos, threatening to tear apart Jubilee Party. So the death toll from your CIA, where people have died, and the people never learn in Kenya. Mm-hmm. They never learn that when the fuel tankers has overturned, don't run there, because any spark can kill you. So people still, for me on this one, Miriam, I have not, I'm sorry. Some of these things, you keep quiet instead of making even a comment. Because time and time, year in, year out, people have died because of the fires coming from this. So that is on the on the headline of the Star. And another thing that touched me is somebody called Michael Waikenda. These are the people, mandarins, eating the money in the State House. He says, oh, the truth is ground has shifted. You know, these are the same confusing, small-minded people who have continued to eat money, claiming to have something, but they don't have. Their role is just they don't have a strategy to even bring a strategy. The whole campaign team of Ruto is a team full of thieves. And if you are going to campaign with these same people, thinking that we are campaigning with a normal person, Miriam, it won't be there. We shall have more tears and more tears to come. Waikenda was picked up because he was writing articles. But some of the articles that he writes, he watches us on TV. They accept people who go and watch Matanga on TV. Then they go and sit down and package and deliver. These are the people they accept. But the truth is, Tawish, it is us who do the donkey work here. We tell people all the time the truth. The ground shifted long time ago because nobody was helping the president to deliver the message in Mount Kenya. That is what is on the star. And I think I've kick-started it, the scheme. To me, the elections of 2022 should not be held until, if I were a Kenyan, that is what I would accept, until reforms are made in the Electoral Commission. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that. And also the headline on the Standard newspaper, I think, Doctor, is something that you've been saying. It says, President's casual approach in dealing with Ruto's political resurgence in Mount Kenya and differences among party leaders within NASA coalition seems to be working in the deepest favor as next year's polls draw close. But the first part of that statement, President's casual approach in dealing with Ruto, you're saying, can you put a hold of? Yeah.
I wish somebody from the presidential unit could go back and see what Matanga has been saying. If they went back and saw what I've been saying, Miriam, believe me or not, they would love me more, not hate me. For almost 1 year, on my shows of CAS, on my shows of KTN, on my shows of KBC, I've been saying two words, fatigue evaluation. That's all, fatigue evaluation. And I've been saying it, we need either, let's not go the Gorbachev way. And the Jubilee, we are going to Gorbachev way. A person within Jubilee who does not want to say this is a very stupid person. If we are going to Gorbachev, our party is sinking. We have a problem. A mafia man has come in the party, divided the party. He has run away with some MPs. We can't discipline them. We are watching them tear the president's image every time, every morning, every time. Nobody, apart from this man, I've spoken until now I've lost my voice. Every morning standing for the president because he's my friend. And I'm not going to abandon him on this tough journey. But he has got to take up this whole thing because the thing is going in a mess. Ruto is just becoming a terrible nuisance. The words that he's talking about, Ruto is no longer interested. Ruto is very vindictive. Ruto will come for Uhuru. I'm telling you, if I'm wrong, Ruto will come for Uhuru. Once Ruto wins this election, President Uhuru will not be in peace at all because he's conniving with several forces. So I am saying it, if they hate me because I'm a foreigner, thank you. I can broadcast from any angle, as long as it's not prison. But I'll tell you the same truth. It could be even more deadly. Because I am seeing a situation where people are forgetting. Ruto is not operating normally. Ruto is being supported by Museveni. Museveni has pumped in money into Ruto's party. And we are going on playing around, running as if we know any intelligence. We don't know. We don't have we should know the people. Some of us have fought for almost 37 years as rebels. We know the tricks. This country is going to be taken over by the yellow color of President Museveni. If I'm wrong, God will help me, wherever I will be. If they have killed me, I would have spoken my mind. But I'm now today, this morning, telling my friends in Jubilee, those who want to listen to me, listen to me. If you don't want to listen to me, don't regret. You remember the Kiambaa constituency, the campaign went down. Later on, the money was poured in this country. And the money changed everything. People are interested in money. Can somebody explain to me today why some people in Kiambaa are crying for their identity cards? Who bought the identity cards? Who bought the identity cards? Are we having a system that is working or not working? Who bought the identity cards? Tanga people bought people's identity cards for 500 shillings. And some of these people have no identity cards today. There are so many people, intelligence coming from the ground indicate that people lost their IDs. Medium, tuambiane ukweli. Me have done my bit. The president will not say I did not help. I've done my bit. But I cannot do anything beyond. I don't control the political machinery. I'm not a member of Jubilee Party. I have done my bit to silence critics on single-handedly with my team. I have silenced these stupid idiots who go on insulting the president every day. And as long as I'm alive, they will not insult him and I keep quiet. When I am not paid, I am not instructed, I am not volunteer, I don't work for the government. But I want to tell you, if you want to insult Uhuru Kenyatta, first, let's go. And most of you, right, Tawish, Miriam, you read my comments, you read my subjects. My subjects are strategic to show you where it should go. We did not have a strategy. We just accept in Kiambaa, we did not have strategy. Full stop. If someone wants to come to me to teach him or her a strategy to win, let him come and pay money. This time I'm not going to give it for free. I'm sorry. Because look at this whole thing. United Democratic Alliance had a tallying center manned by a thief or thieves. A man like a David Chinchiri is a thief, is a well-known computer expert who is even mentioned in London. Chicken Gate scandal. Do you remember? Chinchiri is an expert in fidgeting, corruptly, fraudulently, changing ICT. He's a well-known ICT crook. And I'm saying this on record. You left him to have a tally center. Do you know why? Why is UDA panicking? They don't want a recount. Do you know that? Because if you were watching the results of Kiambaa as they were coming in the media, the results of Kiambaa changed when there was nobody, no other polling stations being announced. So where did this, come from? Over to you, Miriam.
All right, thank you so much. So I also see that we've been joined by Daniel Wesonga. Daniel, a very good morning to you.
Yes, very, very good morning, Miriam Ogutu in Nairobi. Very good morning to my good brother, Tarisho Lesesina, and Dr. Masanga David at the Political Command Center for Punchline Africa TV. And of course, our viewers this morning here in Kenya and the rest of the world.
All right, thank you so much. So the headline that we were looking at, the doctor was responding to on the Standard newspaper, and part of it says that President's a casual approach in dealing with brutal political resurgence in Mount Kenya might have given the DP a lot of mileage. What do you make of that?
Yes, thank you, Miriam Mogutu. And of course, when they say the President's casual way of dealing with DP in Mount Kenya region, that does not explicitly implicate the president, but the handlers of President Uhuru Kenyatta, of whom Dr. Masanga David has been quite clear on their way of doing things. And you saw even in Kiambaa, I just read an update yesterday from David Itumbi, who is a mouthpiece for Tanga team, saying that Jubilee party did not have even agents in some of the polling stations. What does that tell you? That tells you that Tanga actually had a field day in interfering with the votes. And as Dr. Masanga told you, they had even a parallel tallying center. And before we could go to sleep on Thursday, Dennis Itumbi and the Tanga tallying center had given a very varying results for Kiambaa and Muguga ward. And that tells you that these are people who had planned, they had a plan, they had a proper coordination, and they knew what they wanted. But on the other side, our Jubilee brothers laid down the president in that even in some polling stations, they do not have agents to be able to oversee and guard their votes. And in a much hotly contested by-election like that one for Kiambaa and Muguga, you do not expect a ruling party to have such kind of ineptitude, to have such kind of laxity when it comes to vote protection. That is one factor anyone who has ever vied for an electoral an election will tell you that vote protection actually means everything. You could have the a popular name on ground. You could have your people coming to vote you en masse. But if you do not protect your vote, then that means that perhaps you might not be announced the winner then at the end of it all. And another thing, Miriam, there has been laxity in dealing with William Ruto. You see MPs from Mount Kenya who are still holding onto the Jubilee party ticket, insulting the president.
All right. Apologies for that, Daniel Wesonga. A bit of a technical hitch there. Some will wish they're saying President Uhuru Kenyatta has had a casual approach when it comes to dealing with with his deputies' political resurgence, and that might have given the DP a lot of leg room, especially in Mount Kenya region.
Thank you so much, Miriam Ogutu. Of course, Sean Wesonga, Dr. David Masanga, and everyone who is watching this program this morning. Indeed, Dr. Masanga, Miriam, you've heard Dr. Masanga really allude to the fact that it is lack of strategy that really made the Jubilee to lose in the just concluded Kiambaa election, and I can't agree more. Reason being, Miriam, the tide was in favor of Jubilee in as far as this by-election was concerned. Every other factor was in favor of Jubilee in the first place. You look into the candidate that actually presented to the people of Kiambaa. This was the most popular and widely accepted candidate in this by-election in the name of Kariri Njama, the Jubilee candidate in this by-election. You look into the background itself. This is a place largely dominated by Jubilee supporters. It is a place, it is home to President Uhuru Kenyatta. It's a place whose member of parliament, who actually, the deceased member of parliament, was a staunch Jubilee supporter, one who was elected in 2013 on a Jubilee coalition ticket, and eventually again won in the 2017 re-election. That is the late Paul Koinange. So what does it essentially tell you, Miriam? That this was a by-election or a battle that was in favor by all factors. It was in favor of Jubilee, and it was Jubilee's to lose. Only that they lacked strategy, and I think that is what I've borrowed from Dr. Masanga's submission. Sean Wesonga has brought in a very important and critical aspect of, for example, talk of the agents in the polling stations. I mean, how come a ruling party with all the machinery, with all the finances, with all the leaders in that particular region, including even the governor himself, How come that we could not have agents who can be trusted, genuine agents who can be trusted to oversee this particular voting exercise and counting of votes in respective polling stations across the Kiambaa constituency, Miriam? I mean, in itself, it talks about the laxity, and it talks about the reluctance that I think some of the critics have argued about President Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee Party in its approach towards having this election. And I think that kind of reluctance, that attitude of assuming things is what may have led actually Jubilee to have lost this particular by-election. Because again, probably they went into this by-election being overconfident that perhaps they are going to win this by-election and the UDA may not have any footing. But remember, the other side was not really sleeping. When it came even to the rigging that is now being widely spoken about, that probably they rigged this election to rig in their candidate, one Juguna, John, who is now the MP for that particular region. The question is, why didn't Jubilee actually put in place measures that would have otherwise made it difficult for the UDA candidate or UDA as a party to rig in their candidate in this particular by-election? So it all boils down really to lack of strategy. Second, Miriam, there's this point about President Uhuru Kenyatta having a relaxed or a reluctant approach towards the insurgency by the deputy president. I think this is a correct interpretation of what things are today. And it's only people who are silly, if I should put it that way, or stupid, who will still call this a friendly fire. I personally do not think, Miriam, that this was a friendly fire. It ceased to be a friendly fire the moment Deputy President William Ruto decided to chop a chunk of Jubilee lawmakers and went ahead, of course, to form the Tanga Tanga Brigade in the name of the Hustler movement today, which is actually undermining President Uhuru Kenyatta and his legacy. And they've gone ahead to make sure that they even, of course, malign him in his own backyard of central Kenya. This is no longer friendly fire. And I was listening to some of the lawmakers yesterday, the likes of Ngujiri Wambuge and others, even David Murathe, the vice chair of Jubilee Party. We can no longer call this a friendly fire. That is why some of us, Miriam, are even suggesting that now President Uhuru Kenyatta must remove the gloves. The enemy, politically speaking, has already advanced. The enemy is in the house. He's almost reaching to the bedroom. I mean, it is time we call it the way it is. Dr. Masanga, myself, and some of the panelists in this forum or platform, Miriam, have been consistently reminding President Uhuru Kenyatta and his inner sanctums to make sure that they deflect the kind of advances that the deputy and the renegades are making within the Jubilee. Look at it, Miriam, this way. You have people who have not actually quitted the party completely because they are still members of parliament. Deputy President William Ruto is still the deputy by virtue of Jubilee, but again, they are advancing the principles and the ideals of a different party altogether. How do you call this? They have gone ahead to field the candidates against the very party that sponsored them into the elective positions that they continue to enjoy the privileges today. So, Miriam, I think that position of people coming out and saying it's a friendly fire, that this is just an in-house fight, it seems to be an in-house fight, Miriam. Look at the bitterness, the kind of anger, the kind of vengeance with which the Tanga Tanga lawmakers are addressing the President Uhuru Kenyatta and anybody really who supports him. When you listen to Rigathi Gachagua speak, when you listen to Moses Kuria, Kimani Ichung'wah, Ndindi Nyoro, Alice Wahome, and others, you'll think that President Uhuru Kenyatta has committed the biggest of sin on planet Earth, one which does not even warrant him to continue living on this planet. Miriam, it's very unfortunate, and I think we must continually speak and remind President Uhuru Kenyatta that this is the moment really to remove the gloves if he has to sanitize his party and make sure that he has galvanized support ahead of 2022 general election. I submit.
All right, thank you so much, Samuel Tawish. And now there's a story on page 5 of the Standard newspaper in line with what Jubilee wants to do. And now Jubilee threatens a court action to challenge Kiambaa poll outcome. President Uhuru Kenyatta's Jubilee Party has vowed to move to court to challenge the outcome of the just concluded Kiambaa by-election. The ruling party yesterday claimed the result was manipulated in favor of the United Democratic Alliance, UDA, candidate John Njuguna. Daniel Wasonga, does Jubilee have a case here?
Yes, Miriam Mogutu, the Jubilee Party has a case, and that stems all the way back from what I talked about and what Tawish has actually reinforced, that they failed to protect their votes, and therefore votes were tampered with. Tanga Tanga was able to each step ahead of them. And I believe personally that this particular vote was rigged. And if a recount could be authorized today, Miriam, I'm very sure the sun will rise tomorrow. Jubilee will be able to take that Kiambaa seat back. What the president of Kenya lacks, President Uhuru Kenyatta lacks, is leaders in elective positions who can be able to sufficiently serve as his generals. Dr. Matsanga has lamented here that he is perhaps among the top people who are defending him, even on social media, taking all the insults from the Tangatanga Mujahideen, taking all the kind of blame that comes onto the party. The other day I was just reading someone telling Dr. Matsanga that perhaps he should also own up the blame for the Jubilee's failure in Kiambaa, which will not be the case. President Uhuru Kenyatta has people who are elected, people who hang around the president who are always at State House receiving stipends for these particular tasks. And they are letting down the president. They are letting the president walk naked in his own backyard. They are letting Tangatanga MPs insult the president, whereas people like Dr. Masanga who suffer, Tangatanga people come and crowd in the show and throw insults left, right, and center, but nothing is being done to them. Why would they be receiving money for campaigns if they cannot deliver a seat? Why do they continue earning a salary if they cannot defend the president and his agenda? And also, Miriam, to the Jubilee Party leadership, why do we have leaders who are elected on Jubilee Party ticket who are still insulting the president? That should be the question that we should be asking those who are responsible for the party and those who call themselves the president's MPs and senators and governors who are in the ruling party Jubilee. I submit.
Thank you so much, Daniel Osonga Sakong Kiplagat. Thank you so much for watching us this morning. You say there is no insurgence from the DP's part. It is the president who has expunged and secluded his deputy. The president is the one who has visited himself all these troubles. He is not wise, easy, being gulled by forces that wanted to take advantage of his fatigue. All right, very well. Your thoughts. Thank you for writing to us. Samuel Tawish, the case that Jubilee now wants to go challenge the Kiambaa win, do they stand a chance?
Well, Miriam, as long as they have sufficient evidence to that effect, because again, challenging this by-election in itself of this win by UDA is one thing, but presenting a very watertight case and evidence is also another thing altogether. So I think we do not want to go into this, say, petition and to get out humiliated and embarrassed once more, because again, it could be just about nursing the injuries out of this particular loss in Kiambaa. Miriam, that is why you see some of us are truly very bitter by way of how these lawmakers who are tasked with the responsibility of campaigning, of making a very clear strategy on how to win this particular by-election in Kiambaa. I was personally in Kiambaa, of course, you understand, covering this particular by-election. You remember, even at some point, I wanted to have a one-on-one interview with the Honorable Member of Parliament for Nyeri Town, that is Ngunjiri Wambugu, and his response to me was that he was so busy to ensure that the votes are being protected, because again, we are getting at the tail end of voting. And so I do not understand the kind of protecting of votes. What happened with the protection of the vote when they are coming out now and telling us that the UDA did rig this election? Where were they when the election was being rigged? They cannot now pass the blame to the likes of David Murathe, to the likes of Raphael Tuju, to the likes of Mzuya, or even President Uhuru Kenyatta, because they did their part as the secretariat, and the remaining part was more of strategy and politics, which is done by politicians. They were given enough resources. I have not heard them come out and say they were not given enough resources to make sure that this by-election really or this battle is going to be won by Jubilee. They have not given an excuse of not having money or resources as to the reason why they could not protect and guard the vote in every polling stations and consequently counting of the votes at the tallying center. So to come out and lament to the people today and say UDA rigged the election, where were they in the first place when UDA was rigging this election? Why were they in Kiambaa in the first place if it was not protecting the votes in the polling stations and trying even to encourage their supporters to go and vote for their candidate? So Miriam, as you asked your question about this particular impending petition by Jubilee, it is not a big deal, for example, to me. The only thing I would propose is that they should have a watertight case, enough evidence, because we do not want a second humiliation at the courts, Miriam. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm told we are also joined by Douglas Kirimi all the way from Meru County. Douglas, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam, and also to Dr. David Matanga, to my friend Oresa Senator Luis, and also to my friend Sean Wesonga, and to our friends across the world. Thank you for having me on the show.
All right, nice to have you. And Douglas, you just found that in the middle of looking at the story on page 5 of the Standard newspaper, where now Jubilee threatens a court action to challenge Kiambaa poll outcome. Does Jubilee has a case on this?
Miriam, Jubilee has a case, and also I've not handed over our panelists tried to fix the real problem as far as the Kiambaa fiasco is concerned. The real culprit in this election and other subsequent and other previous by-elections is the IBC in this country, an institution that the court has found it to be not properly constituted, an institution that has said publicly that they are technically unprepared for the general elections in 2022. An institution that has continued, Miriam, to allow electoral malpractices and also continue making sure that elections in this country are marred by violence, or if not violence, they are permitted by Tanga people. They are filled with Tanga people, and also the chairman himself is a Tanga member. He is a man I have allegedly called out for siding with Tanga people and also making sure that they win in these by-elections. If Jubilee Party, the ruling party of Kenya, with the government, with every machinery on its side, continues blaming the Electoral Commission of malpractices in an election, all claims that rigging was done. It is true. When government says that something is wrong somewhere. I think Jubilee Party, the vice chairman of Jubilee Party, the secretary general, and all the party honchos who went out there and spoke about these electoral malpractices and said they are going to challenge it in court. You are not saying it in vain, Miriam. Something is wrong somewhere, and it needs to be rectified. And the ball squarely lies in the court of the Electoral Commission of the Republic of Kenya. Miriam, I have said before, for the people of Kenya to move forward and for us to be able to move forward, we need to be able to have a properly constituted IBC, an IBC that is technically prepared, and also an IBC that is unbiased, and also an IBC that guarantees free and fair elections in this country, Miriam. Were it not for the sober mind and also fairness that has been exhibited by Jubilee and also their candidate in the Kiambaa by-elections, we could be having problems, Miriam, in Kiambaa today. But they have said that they are going to let the electoral process take place, which has taken place. They are also going to follow the court process and allow it to conclusion, Miriam. I'm blaming IBC for any problem that has been squarely placed in this election, Miriam. When we have a problem, when they reopened the boxes in Mugoga and allowed a recount, why didn't they allow a recount in Kiambaa, Miriam? Why was the law applied in Mugoga and was not applied in Kiambaa? We are having a huge problem, Miriam, and I'm hoping that we are going to rectify that problem as we move forward. Without reforms in this country, especially at the Electoral Commission in this country, we cannot have proper elections in 2022, and we are preparing for a recipe for chaos, and including every leader in their fight and lunch in this country. They know the truth of the matter is, without properly constituted IBC, without an IBC that is neutral, an IBC that is not biased like Chebukati and his team, we are not going to have peace in this country. And this country is greater than elections, Miriam. This country is greater than Chebukati and is a biased IBC. I don't have faith in IBC. I have no faith in Chebukati. Even presiding over Kiambaa, he should have appointed someone else, Miriam, to step in temporarily for him because he is incompetent, he is inept, and also a man that is not fit for this job, Miriam. I condemn every malpractice that has been allowed by IBC, especially permitted by Chebukati himself. Thank you.
All right, but Douglas, you know that Chebukati could not really appoint somebody to step in on his behalf. He has to do that as the chairperson of the IBC. Dr. Matanga, I don't know if you're back. If you can hear me, a very good morning.
Good morning, Miriam, and I want to thank my young man, my son, from Meru, for saying it as I have been saying it. And he has forgotten something. He's saying that he has not heard any of the panelists, maybe this morning. But we have been saying for a long time, including...
Yes, today in the morning. Sorry, Sorry, doctor. It is today.
I am one of those who does not like to see the face of a man called Chebukati. Even just meeting him in a restaurant, I run away. I don't want to look at his face. Because every time I look at Chebukati's face, Miriam, I see violence. A man who could not identify, tell the court, where does he keep the spoiled boxes, ballots? You want to give him another election in Kenya. Then you Kenyans are the most greatest people the world has ever seen. Sorry. You know, look, I thank you very much, Kenyans. You are great people. But on this one, thank you very much. You are very wrong. A man went to court. We got our election nullified on one technical question. That technical question was, where did you keep the spoiled ballots? We lost an election. Uhuru lost an election. That Ruto running around like a lost sheep lost an election. We lost an election. Some of us are not members of Jubilee Party, but we paid, we used our resources to support the Jubilee Party. Yes. If there anybody who did not see me with a fleet of my cars campaigning in this country, Tawish, were you not in those cars? Were you not one of those leading everywhere?
We were there, Dr. Masanga.
Yes, in the colors. We painted our cars. We painted so many things. We have been there before. This is our earned money. We are not poor. Miriam, not like what people think. We thrive on what these Nigerians and Biafrans are saying. We have been here for a long time. We have not thrived on Nnamdi Kanu. We see the problem there, Miriam. All insults are coming to us because of our good heart. This man approached us for an interview. I wish we did not get involved in his interview with us. I will not dwell on that. Let me keep it straight because we have answered. We don't know, we didn't know, we shall not know until the truth comes out. If Nnamdi Kanu ever connected us while he was in Kenya, we didn't even know where he was. He told us he was in London. Isn't it so, Miriam? Go and look at the Nnamdi Kanu told us on the interview he was in London. We didn't know where he was. But some of his supporters, not all, at least the executive of IPOB, they know the truth. So don't worry, continue with our work. Coming back to this man called Chebukati. Miriam, I tell you, this is a man who should not even handle one election, should have gone. If I were Uhuru, you see, look at this article. Who has leaked this? It is Chebukati. Who has leaked this to the media? It's Chebukati. Scheme to delay 2020 elections. He has leaked it to the opposition already, claiming that people have approached him. You hear that? You hear that? It's here. So you still have the man, and the people have confidence in the same man who made them lose an election. They still want to continue with him. I agree with Douglas. Miriam, that guy should not handle one list of a returning officer. He is in the pocket. You know, we have intercepted his video trying to tell Alliance, Third Way Alliance chairman or president, a crow court. You remember what he was telling a crow court? He was telling a crow court that you can put up a bill that will supersede the BBI. You have forgotten that. He went to the BBI, he turned back, he set the lead off by saying, we can't do the boundaries. We need 1 year. Isn't he the same man? And this is the man you want to say he's going to have an election, conduct a free and a fair election in Kenya. Unless we are mad, unless people are not seeing what is there. But me, I am like a trigger. I am a trigger. I think Tinga is graph. I have seen what is going to happen. 2022, come September, the first man who is going to protest on the streets of Nairobi is William Ruto. He will go back to his political caliphate and tell them they rigged us out. We had a lot of numbers, but they destroyed our vote. We won, but Uhuru government ate our vote. That's what Ruto is going to tell people. Those who will be around, if they are, if I'm around, you ask me. Because I am not God. I don't know. I've done my bit to alert people of Kenya that the IEBC of Kenya, Miriam, the Yuda vote where chaos is going to come. Let me tell you, where chaos is going to come is here. The 100 votes that were added by a computer, you could see it. Everybody, I could see it. There was no announcement, there was nothing. Then Francis Gichuri of Citizen, even quoted the figure which was not available. You know, because this is Francis Gichuri, these are a few of the journalists that Ruto has bought. This morning, Miriam, to divert, to tell you some sad story. Gideon Moi walks around that he wants to become a president of Kenya. I'm lucky. I'm lucky that Wesonga is here. Wesonga is canon. How can you allow a television station of KTN to be used by your opponent to dismember you Gideon Moi? And you are talking that I would also become a president. No, Tawish, tell me. Tell me, Miriam. Tell me how Gideon Moi will become a president. His KTN News, Uhuru Kenyatta's K24. All these have been captured by pro-Ruto editors. You are the owner of the television station. Miriam, you allow propaganda to be mushrooming from your television station, injuring you, and then you are wasting people's time that you want to become a president of the Republic of Kenya. And yes, they put up, no, listen to me. They put up they put up a whole machinery where Songa tell Gideon Moi, you are disgracing us. You cannot become a president when you are allowing Ruto to use KTN News to bring analysts who are condemning your actions every minute, who are condemning President Uhuru Kenyatta's actions, government, policies. Then you say you want to become a president. What presidents? How would you get it? Who are these editors? In every Ruto has bought most top editors. Miriam, I tell you the truth. More on the editors. Francis Gachuri's house was built by Ruto's money.
True.
Opondo's house in Mumias was built by Ruto and Frida Karone. Then you bring Opondo to come to KTN News as news editor. How is Gideon Moi thinking? What is he thinking here?
And actually, Dr. Matsanga, if those television stations belong to William Ruto, I can always assure you that nothing of sort will be happening. Yes, the other day we saw Oscar Sudi reading a riot act to those ones who are not towing line in regards to Tangatanga in Rift Valley. And I can assure you, in Tangatanga, there's nothing like democracy. There's nothing like fairness. So I agree with you, Dr. Masanga. We should not show this guy fairness as they continue sabotaging and digging deep into our own, our very own. The president.
Let me lay this bare today so that we don't repeat it, Miriam. Ruto has not invested in any television in Kenya. But Ruto has gone across in my country, in Uganda, and heavily invested in university, Kampala University. He's one of the big shareholders of Kampala University. He's one of the big shareholders in industries, in early manufacturing. Is he manufacturing for Kenyans or for Ugandans? We are lucky, very happy to have money coming to our country. Thank you very much. You can talk about me, insult me, but you Kenyans, I don't know whether you, those Kenyans who wake up and say, we like our man, like him. But not this David Matanga. I would not like a person who did not say thank you to me when I rescued him from ICC. I will never, until he comes, I don't want his money, until he comes to say thank you. When I look behind and see the way I suffered, the way I sold my property in order to go and fight for that stupid Ruto, I feel hurt, and therefore I have no regrets. Never talk to me about that name. Please, whether in Kenya or wherever I will be, don't. I don't like to hear it. And very soon, I don't want to know it. I'm telling you. That's why I'm warning even Gideon Moi. What is he doing? He creates a WhatsApp group. Useless. Useless. They can't even comment on anything good. Stupidity. They allow a television station. His Excellency, the President, is the owner of K24. He allows the television station to be used by opponents to insult him. Is this politics? The only television station here today which is talking and giving government some relief is mine. Where is media? Where is? You get editors who were sent away from NTV. You bring them. That woman in K24, who was the assistant editor in KTN, is Ruto. You bring her in K24 to bring only experts. Some of the experts can't even speak English. Have you seen that? Now in K24 it's taken over. KTN News is taken over. In Citizen is taken over. Tell me how any other candidate will win an election. How will you win an election when you don't have the media? I am asking serious questions. And the medium, I am open for any battle. If Opondo is not Ruto's person, let him allow other people who support President Uhuru Kenyatta to come on the panel. Why does KTN want a license in Uganda, but then they don't want a Ugandan to speak on their TV? Stupid. Why does Citizen want a license in Uganda when they don't want? I'll also sabotage them now. Yes, if you don't know me, I'll sabotage some of these television stations, including that of Moi, because we have been keeping quiet for a long time. You are a presidential candidate. Surely, you have a television station. It doesn't even feature you. And you are running around. They bring you as the last item. Surely. Even the late Moi would not be doing so. I'm sorry. I've talked about your candidate, Mr. Sean Wesonga. You're a member of KANU.
But Dr. Masanga, you've been in this field for quite long enough. If they are wise enough, they should be taking notes about that.
You are
and
a member of KANU. Wait. Go and tell him, Dr. Masanga has said, what will he do? Do I feed at his house? Have I ever asked? When I go to his restaurant, I pay cash. Does he feed me? His restaurant is the most expensive restaurant in Kenya. If you go there, you must be prepared to have 50,000 shillings. And I've been going there, and I pay my way. Does he feed me? Kwenda. Then we tell you the truth, and we are telling you to correct. You are the one bringing President Uhuru Kenyatta a baggage. People are choosing President Uhuru Kenyatta that he is favoring William Ruto, Gideon and others that he wants to hand over power. Help him, help yourselves. How can you have a television station condemning the owner? I'm asking. There are people there in Gideon's campaign team who should listen to this. It's complete stupidity. Stupid. Kabisa. So when you come to all this area, you add all these papers today, all of them. They have one thing in common. The message today from these papers to the president is very clear. Fatigue evaluation. You have 1 year left. In this 1 year, you can achieve something for the people of Kenya. You have a legacy to protect. Elections in Kenya cannot be held the way the situation is. That's another point to take home. In the summary, Miriam, you are the one to summarize. Another point. Let's avoid the Russian perestroika system that killed the Soviet Union empire. I am a don. I teach political science. I don't manipulate political science. I don't survive because the Biafrans are online. No, I have helped Biafra for 6 years without asking for a penny. And for any Biafran listening to me, check your words because the true story about the leader, how the leader ended up in that mess, is soon coming out. Because it will not have Masanga's name or punchline anywhere. Namdi Khan himself is going to speak out. How, where, who, what he was doing, where and at what time. So for us, what we don't want to know is for you to come to our TV. We shall continue to speak. Tomorrow or the other day, we still speak. We are not friends of Buhari. We don't like Buhari. Up to heaven. If he goes first, we shall go. We are also prepared. And we are not going to keep quiet. Because keeping quiet is like we are part and a parcel of the scheme. We are not part and a parcel of the scheme. We don't know. Mr. Namdi Khan interviewed on Zoom. I don't know whether any of you has a Zoom number showing the number where you are. We don't know. We did not know where it is, where he was, what he was doing, when he was doing it. We have explained this time and time again. I want you to leave my television, continue watching, let's continue struggling for Namdi Khan to be released from the jail of his abductors. I am myself not a Kenyan, so why should you victimize me? I don't speak on behalf of the government of Kenya. Neither do I work for the government of Kenya. I have never worked for the government of Kenya. All I have is freedom of a television in Kenya. Therefore, if I was doing my journalistic work, by interviewing, I made a mistake. By accepting Namdi Khan's interview, I should have avoided it. And even if I had avoided it, if God had prepared, my name would not be part and a parcel of this stupidity. I don't want this to continue. My brothers who are watching, please, I don't want it. I am fed up of this. You are not going to frustrate our work here. No. If you want to attack the government of Kenya, it has given an explanation. We don't work for those agencies. That is all. And that is the end. We don't want to stop you from listening. There are very good programs that we do on Nigeria. We don't need to do anything. We don't know. Pressurize the Nigerian government to tell you how they got Mr. Namdi Khan. Pressurize the Kenyan government to tell you who are those responsible, not us. So don't use excuses. You have become enemies. You are now becoming enemies of friends of yours like us. When you just target us, it is a ploy by the Nigerian government, Miriam, to target this television, to confuse their footprints on how they captured Mr. Namdi Khan. We are not going to fall by that ploy. No. Thank you. Let's move on to another topic. And we almost done very well as far as we are concerned. Miriam?
All right, thank you so much. And I see we've been joined by Dr. Joseph Nyanchama. Daktari, a very good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us. I can't hear Dr. Nyanchama.
Oh, sorry. Good morning, Miriam. And my fellow panelists, Daktari, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, sorry for have to dirtify the hands of these pro-Africa TV stations. And I'm happy to join you this morning. Thank you, Miriam.
All right, so we were looking at the state of Jubilee Party, and right now Jubilee has threatened to go to court and challenge Kiambaa poll outcome, and we were just discussing on if at all Jubilee has a case on that.
As to whether they have a case or not, I think when you look at people of that kind, their interaction on their own right, they must have, you know, before you go to court, you must discern all the evidence that you have. They must absolutely have enough evidence to challenge the result and cause a recount. Because any person, before he goes or she goes to court, is actually forced by the evidence he or she has at hand. And I believe that they must be having evidence to challenge the result as announced by IEPC. Thank you, Miriam.
I just want to announce, Miriam, good morning, Miriam. I can't hear you, Miriam.
All right, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I want to tell you that my complaint has been worked on. They have just sent me a letter from Standard Group. They have sacked Mr. Peter Opondo. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Amen.
I want to tell you, Mr. Ocheng, thank you very much. Mr. Peter Opondo, and I want to tell you more of them who are there, who should leave and go and do their things somewhere else. You cannot have our television station, which is supposed to support us. When Matsanga wants to go there to support Uhuru Kenyatta, they block me. I want to tell you, I'm going to write you the list of the people you should clean up. Yes, clean up that guy on Sunday who brings that inside politics. Take him off. These are Ruto's paymasters. They are paid. We are not going. We can't have our television station, our own television station. Moi left it for us to utilize it, not for Opondo and Frida Carone to come and use to insult Gideon Moi and Uhuru Kenyatta every morning. And Opondo, shame on you. You are not a journalist. You are just a small mercenary hired. Opondo, Peter Opondo is a small mercenary hired by Ruto to use KTN News to insult Uhuru Kenyatta. Why should you allow KTN to insult Uhuru Kenyatta from morning up to evening? Go and look for Ruto. Let Ruto build his own TV. Ujinga nyenye. Kwenda. You cannot insult Uhuru from morning up to evening. That you are an editor. There are even more. Now I'm cleaning exercise. I'm going to KBC. I'm going everywhere. We want to clean these guys. Francis Chichuru, the house in Banana was built by Ruto. Shut up on TV. Leave us alone. Where? Begging boys, begging. Mnaomba kwe. Fuck it. Get off. You cannot insult Uhuru from morning up to evening. Who are you? That I am a political analyst. What analyst can Francis Chichuri with one Casimiro degree, a one Casimiro degree that he even failed with the honor, no honors, that you are also analyzing events because you have a volume. Rubbish. Miriam, back to you in the studio.
Yeah, all right, thank you for that. Dr. Joseph Nyanchama, perhaps what are some of the lessons that Jubilee can learn from the just concluded Kiambaa by-election, even as the party looks to challenge the outcome of that by-election?
I am on the show.
Dr. Joseph Nyanchama.
There are a lot of lessons, Miriam, when you are engaged in a competition,
I don't take it lightly.
When you are engaged in a competition where you expect to win, and by any chance you fail, we usually say, Miriam, that you don't drown by falling in water, you drown by staying in water. So that means that the Jubilee has to learn a lot of lessons, how to organize, how to persuade people, because you see the other part used a lot of agitation and falsehoods that Jubilee has done nothing. And at the same time, you look at it, Miriam, that the people are saying Jubilee have done nothing. They go ahead to contradict themselves that they are still in Jubilee in this era, but afterwards they will leave. Meaning that if they say Jubilee has done nothing, they have done nothing. What I think Jubilee Party, those who are remaining, need to do is to sit down and reflect and begin a new narrative of connecting to the voters. And you see, people always love, people are humble, and they need to change their demeanor that they will have to embrace to approach the electorate. I am telling you, they are going to gain ground. And they need not to worry, because failing is not the same as failure. So it is just a stumble. We usually say, Miriam, that you stumble only if you are moving. So Jubilee Party was moving. And look at the margin of the loss is a paltry 500 votes. If they reorganize themselves, in fact, next time, whatever election they go into, they are going to win in bigger margins. I submit, Miriam.
All right, and just moving forward, perhaps to restructure or not to restructure Jubilee Party, Samuel Tawish. Douglas Kirimi.
Thank you, Miriam. Yes, we need to restructure and rebrand the Jubilee Party of Kenya, and also make sure that as a party we push for the sacking of the people who continue undermining the party. Even officials who are at the secretariat should be shown the door. The government, which is the ruling party, should invest in mechanisms of getting the most out of Jubilee Party, and also these members of parliament.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I seem to have had a problem with Douglas's connection there. Daniel Wesonga, to restructure or not to restructure Jubilee Party.
Yes, thank you, Miriam Ogutu. And of course, Jubilee Party must restructure, not only because of the recent Kiambaa elections, but just like any other party in the country, we are headed to the general election in less than in less than a year. And therefore, we should have new blood, we should have new energy being pumped into the party. And to the factors that we've talked about, in that we've seen some laxity in the party where the party stalwarts are not able to support the president accordingly. They're not able to project the kind of energy that we need in a ruling party. Then we need to rebrand, we need to restructure, we need to get new foot soldiers who will be able to carry the party forward to ensure that in the coming parliament, Jubilee Party remains to be the party with the biggest number of elected leaders. It remains to be a party of influence, not only in Mount Kenya region, but across the country, because Jubilee Party, other than ODM, is the only other party with elected leaders, even in Western Kenya, even in parts of Nyanza, in Kisii and Nyamira. We do have also Jubilee elected leaders in the coastal part of this country. So therefore, going forward, Miriam, rebranding and re-energizing Jubilee Party by bringing in new people. You realize that the people perhaps who are very instrumental in the 2017-2013 presidential general elections are the same ones. A majority of them have shifted to the UDA camp. And therefore, there's need for the Jubilee Party to recruit new grassroots mobilizers, to rebrand the party and give it some new energy. And more so, we need the young people to be able to come on board and be able to steer the party ahead. We cannot, at this moment, maybe advise the people in Jubilee Party to be shifting blame left, right, and center. Everyone play their part and their role quite well in Kiambaa. What we need is to gather everyone and not to scatter anyone from the party. So that will be the best way they could be able to handle the situation as it is right now. Unity of purpose and being able to bring in new ideas and new energy into the party. So bottom line, Miriam, restructuring is much needed at this particular moment in Jubilee Party.
Thank you. Samuel Tawish.
Very well. Thank you once more, Miriam. Thank you for this opportunity. And I think we've already made it very clear that now that this by-election is over, of course, it's behind us. The most important thing that Jubilee leaders can do and Jubilee Party can do is to focus so much on restructuring it, to focus so much on building it right from the grassroots. And I think that is what most of the leaders really continue to share and encourage. Even in the face of this particular defeat in this by-election, like most of us continue to remind that what needs to be done now is for them to go back to the drawing board and think how best they're going to revitalize this party so that it can remain and even become more relevant and more sellable to the people at the grassroots, especially even as Jubilee continues to galvanize support and strategize ahead of the 2022 general election, Miriam.
Thank you so much, Samuel Tawish. Before we go back to Dr. David Matanga, Dr. Joseph Nyanchama, does a Jubilee Party need restructuring? Some of the members there are now demanding.
Miriam, you know, most mistakes usually people make is that when a challenge occurs, you tend to start crying for people's blood. No. The first step Jubilee needs to make is to take into consideration the team spirit. That's where you begin from. You know, the moment you say Miriam must leave, Dr. must leave, you are already further scattering the party. Let me tell you, Miriam, there are 17 laws of teamwork. Let me tell you law number 4. It's called the law of Mount Everest. The law number 4 about teamwork means, it says the principle behind, when the challenge escalates, team members elevate. So Jubilee is facing a challenge. You need every team member on board. So they begin from building the team, and they sincerely carry out a postmortem where could have been the challenge, and agree to move forward as a team. Even in fact at this stage you say others must leave, you will escalate the challenge. And for me, what they need to do is to build the team first, and they say all these things are behind us. We must move forward as a team. We need to enhance the mechanisms of making sure that we win next time. Then they restructure. You begin from building the team, then you restructure, Miriam. I am telling you, they are going to surprise those who are rejoicing. You remember, there is, sorry to finish, there is a man called Winnie Dyer. He says, you can always charge a good dancer. He begins to dance from the moment he hears the music. He needs not to look for a specific spot. He dances immediately as he arises from his seat. So in the future, we will witness the good dancers, not these ones who are fake. If they restructure, build a teamwork, I'm telling you, they are going to win. I submit, Miriam.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Joseph Nyanchama from Nairobi. Dr. David Matanga, concluded for us. Is it time perhaps Jubilee was restructured? All right, I suppose Dr. David Matanga is not there. Thank you so much, Samuel Tawish, Daniel Wesonga, Douglas Kirimin, of course, Dr. Joseph Nyanchama, and Dr. David Matanga, who I think is not there for now. We thank you for watching. This has been a Good Morning Africa Home Edition. And of course, today is Eid ul-Adha, and we wish a happy Eid ul-Adha to our Muslims, brothers and sisters across the world. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Miriam Mugutu. Good morning.
Viewers, those listening to this tape or this video, I want to bring to your attention that the politics of proxy wars in Africa is becoming real, and it has become a reality. I want to bring to the attention of the African states that time and time again we have fallen victims of proxy wars. We fight wars that are not ours. We fall in conflicts that are not supposed to be, don't help Africa, and they don't help our countries at all. The proxy war that is in East and Central and the Horn of Africa has been ignited, supported, equipped by France. It has been very real that the French government, quietly through its company called Total Oil, has been searching for resources around the triangle of East and Central Africa and the Great Lakes region and the Horn of Africa. The LAPSET was one of them, which could have been the project of